Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers 2 for another look at another small ship, where this time we're looking at a racing ship called the DSI Talon, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a very sleek ship which looks very familiar to a ship from Elite Dangerous with the way it's been set up. And well, as you can see, we've got no weapons around the outside of this thing. We are purely for scooting around, doing some exploration, and of course driving around at high speeds through a race course that will inevitably be built in the future. So yes, we've got a red and white scheme all around this thing. We've only got iron thrusters because iron thrusters are the only thrusters in Space Engineers 2 currently. And well, I suppose I'll press G, come into the spawn menu, go through this to see actually who created it. So there we are, it's by Diggrok. And of course we see its little statistics down there. No block count just yet. I'm sure that'll be added in the future. Anyway, coming out of that, what we're going to do is have a look around the outside of this thing, drive around for a bit. We won't go through any of the controls because they don't exist in this game. And then that'll be that. And of course we get to play around with the new driving system where the ship sort of delay follows the mouse when you turn it around. Makes it very awkward in third person view, but quite nice in a first person view if you have very limited gyroscopes and not too many. If you've got too many, it makes it feel very wonky and overly sensitive. Well, you get the right amount for your ship and it becomes a joy to fly around. So at the very front, in fact, we'll start over here. What we've got is our small little bridge to drive this thing around. We've got some windows in front of it to peer outside. And of course behind our seat we've got a few little bits and pieces such as bump panels, which don't currently work, but will do in the future. Going along the side here, this is one of our thruster pods. We've got some fantastic use of this block right here, adding it's like a small little vent, so when your engines get too hot, hopefully it will just pump out here, and will not burst into flames. Yes, that comes across on some red steel blocks that move around towards the very front, but we're going to have some iron thrusters help slow this thing down. Now this section has been angled all the way down, we've got some black in the middle right there. That's going to be the same on this side right here. Round onto the side of it, we don't have a vent on this side, but we can see how that neatly joins across to the white steel blocks to make it the main bulk of this ship. That moves all the way across to this section where we've got a little race section onto another iron thruster that's been held very nicely in a circular pattern. Then towards the side here, our little vents return once again to give it a nice bit of decoration and of course to break up this flat surface. Moving up slightly, coming across to where our cockpit is sitting, here we are, so once again, more vents along this section, nice little strip of red to break up all this white. Then across onto the main body. There we are. Not too sure why he suddenly started flying up there. He seems to have a mind of his own currently. And there we are our seat to actually drive it around. Anyway, towards the very back of this thing, here we go, putting on my lights. And well, we've got one hell of a lot of thrusters to drive this thing around, but we will get one hell of a lot of speed out of this and very rapidly hit the maximum speed to the point the ship will start to shake around to the sheer speed it gets up to. Yes, we've got one large iron thruster, we've got 4 small large iron thrusters. Then up to here's a small little spoiler, some extra flare. Moving up and looking down. There we are. Across to the main body, we've got some more iron thrusters on the left and right hand side. There's your doorway to go inside. The top of the doorway has been covered up by some steel blocks, very nice and neatly. And of course we've got red that comes all the way from the bottom of the interior onto the outside. And yes, down to here, looking up, and there is the door. Yes, we'll come back to the interior in just a moment. Across to the front, there's our lovely windows. And there's the top of our thrusters at the very front. Moving down underneath this thing, here we are, so we've got some more vents below those iron thrusters. Up to here, some more iron thrusters to move you up. And then towards the back there we are below our rear iron thrusters. And there we are, so that's a very brief look around the outside of the DSI Talon. Do excuse with my naming of blocks, I'm not too familiar with the blocks in this game just yet. There's a lot of blocks that look like they should be, say, neon tubes, but they're not neon tubes. And, well, all of that. Anyway, yes, it's a fantastic looking ship. It's an absolute glorious design for a racing ship, and I can't wait to see this thing boosting around an actual space race course, which, well, there might be some on the workshop. I haven't actually checked just yet, but no doubt that we may in the future once we get more blocks to play around with. But no, grabbing hold of this character, it's now time to go on the inside, through this doorway, and then just dropping myself all the way down. So yes, up above here, we cannot close up the doors just yet. And of course at the back there's our red strip, there's bump panels on the left and right hand side. Once again, like the doorway, we can't actually do anything with this just yet. We simply click on it, nothing will happen. And well, here's what we get at the very front. So we've got 2 control seats to actually drive this thing around. Not really sure where all that smoke just came from. Yes, it doesn't really matter which seat you get into. We can get this one and drive it around, or we can get to the front one. There we are, and also drive it around. And of course both of these will not have any kind of controls, so it doesn't really matter which one we go in at the end of the day. Yes, this is what it looks like in the third person view, driving it around, and here's the very violent shaking effect that gets even worse as we go up and up and up to maximum speed, which is, well, just under 700 miles per hour. Coming to the stop. There we are, of course driving around in first person view. We can then boost all the way up. We'll start to get up to high speeds once again. It's going to start shaking quite violently again. There we go. It's now giving that real nice effect that you're going at very high speeds. And there we are, now smooth out once we actually hit maximum speed to start cruising around at, well, maximum speed. And there we are. Yes, looking around here, that's all of our controls. Up and above, fantastic view all the way around this thing. And well, as you see from the actual controls itself, it's very good moving forwards and backwards. Left and right leaves a bit to be desired. But then again, for a racing ship, that doesn't really matter too much because it's going to be following the mouse at the end of the day. And once again, here's the weird controls with the mouse where it sort of has that delayed effect when actually following it around with all the little arrows that go jutting out. As for that, that's pretty much it for the ship, all it has to offer in the current state of the game, vertical size 1.2. So I suppose what I am going to do is now charge all the way forwards and try and find a ship. The sunlight is blinding me, I can't really see too much going on there. We're just going to slam into this asteroid, there we go. Nice big explosion, some very crispy sounds, and it looks like I can still fly this thing around. And there we go, there was the massive delay on the audio effects. And from that crash, we can still fly around, but we're not going to be able to actually stop this thing, so we will be heavily around doing 180 to make it come to a stop. Yes, look at the damage to the front there. We lost our front thruster pods, we no longer have those little legs that strut out, and we lost our glass, we lost most of the steel blocks around here. And well, that's pretty much it for this video, and all this ship has to offer. So yes, in the current stage of the game, it's a fantastic little ship to fly around in. Got quite a nice balance in its gyroscopes to the point that the new control scheme doesn't feel too bad compared to that other ship I showcased in the previous video. And well, I highly recommend downloading it, checking out yourself. So yes, I'll be linked to the description below, do wish you download and play around yourself. I highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.